my organizing life started right here in the state of Texas. I was a teenager when I was when I was reached out to by a community organization out here based in Texas. I was a kid, and it was a grassroots organization right here that, when I was a kid, really helped me believe in myself for the first time. And I didn't have a lot of resources. My family didn't have a lot of resources. And it was right here. And so it impacted me so much as a kid that when I got older, I just continued working in the community that invested in me first. I see that Puerto Rican flag right there. What's that? And so, I love you back. I love you back. And so we love Jessica too. And so what happened was that in my late teens and in my early 20s, I spent a lot of time here in Texas. I spent a lot of time organizing here in San Antonio and in Austin. I took 8-hour drives from here down to Eagle Pass. I spent time in Laredo. I spent time in Houston and in Dallas, all over this state. A lot of people don't know that. And in those years doing that work, the absolute indelible impression that was left on me is that this state is going to change the country. No joke, no BS, ni nada. And I have believed that since I was 17 years old. And here's the thing, is that when I first called Greg, I was like, yo, what's happening out there in Austin, man? I was like, what's going on? And he told me about all the organizing you all are doing. And you know, there's so many races, many of them are pivotal. And there's so much that's going on across the country. It's really hard trying to figure out where you spend like just your 24 hours, 48 hours. And y'all are doing a great job out in Austin, right? And I'm like, you know, but because you're doing such a good job, technically one could look at this and say, like, let's go to another place. You guys don't need my help, right? Except what I told Greg is that the reason it's important to be here is because what you all are doing is different. You all are building infrastructure. You're building infrastructure. You are unionizing. You are striking. Shout out to our striking symphony workers out here. Shout out to our Starbucks workers who are declaring an intent to unionize out here. You all are passing city council ordinances that are some of the first in the country to tackle state violence. Y'all are doing a lot. And we have to make sure that this becomes a springboard for the state. That's why I'm here, for the long game, for the long haul. I don't care how many cycles it takes, it's going to happen. It is going to happen. Texas turning blue is inevitable. Inevitable. It will happen. The only question is when, Texas. The only question is when. So the work that you put in today, the work that you put in tomorrow, the work that you put in on Monday, when you go one more door when you're tired, when you make one more call, when you feel exhausted, you're bringing that day one day sooner. One day sooner, one day faster. This state will turn blue. It's going to happen with the seat of San Antonio and Austin. It's going to spring down to Laredo. It's going to go up to Houston and to Dallas and to all across the state, rural and urban and suburban. We're going to fight for a living wage as a minimum wage. We're going to make sure we unionize the hell out of this state. We're going to make sure that we confront corrupt industries and lobbyists and big money, and we're going to make sure that not one dime is made exploitatively across any worker, especially the undocumented. We're going to protect all people from abuse of power of all kinds. That's what we're here to do. So I want to talk about these two races. Let's talk about Greg, and let's talk about Jessica. I'll start with Greg. Greg has a proven visionary track record on the city council. He comes from grassroots organizing. He is from this. He's not new to this. He is true to this. So you don't need to take his word for it. You just need to look at what he has already done with the trust that you have given him in the city of Austin. He's worked to expand access to housing that's actually affordable for people. He's worked to take on tackles of abuse and police brutality and make sure that we actually have accountability for people, that they can be safe. Actual public safety, investing in our schools and our education, raising our wages. That's what he's been doing here on city council. And it is absolutely not a surprise at all why he's so far ahead in this race, but we gotta make sure, here's the thing about Greg's race, we gotta give him a big margin of victory. A huge margin of victory.